physically strong, renewed, and energized. That's your natural state of health. That's where you want to be. So that's one of my parting gifts. Another parting gift is to talk to you about your own ascension. Your energetic field is in a state of change and expansion. That's huge. Embrace that. I'm going to repeat it. Your energetic field is in a state, it's actually of rapid change and expansion. And yes, it may be a little dark right now for many of you, but it's darkest before the dawn. Many of you, particularly those that we were together in New Jersey, you have begun to vibrate at higher levels of consciousness, and you are now more in alignment with your higher self. Many of you whose lives I touched, you are the forerunners working to raise the consciousness of the planet. And that's what we're here to do once we are healthy. Once we're healthy, we're in the trenches to help raise the consciousness of the planet. And that's what it's all about. That's why you took a body. You didn't take a body to have the next Prada handbag. I'm sorry. You didn't take a body to necessarily be so concerned about your appearance that nothing else matters. Certainly we like to look put together, if that's your thing. Some people don't need that. But there's got to be a healthy balance. The changes that you will be experiencing and are experiencing are not always comfortable. I promise you that too. But they are necessary for your continued growth. I was speaking with a beloved soul up there this morning. Her name is Kathy, and Kathy was so helpful to me during my time up there. Nothing was too much for Kathy. Taking me here, helping me this, do that. She was truly my earth angel. And I could see this morning, not because she helped me, but because she's helping herself. And Kathy, by soul trade, she's a therapist. And in this lifetime, she studied and is a fine physical therapist, but had to put that down when the children came along. But through the work she's done on herself all the time I was up there, which was enormous, now I can see it. It's a funny thing. Because of the work I can do, as you do your work, the third eye opens and you see things. I can actually see the true colors of this beautiful being. And the fact that she's been a healer many lifetimes over. Walked on dirt and walked, in places where people wouldn't walk, dispensing herbs, dispensing good counsel with healing. And it was remarkable to sort of see this unfurling this morning of magical colors around her. And that's what's the destiny for each of you. The true beauty of your soul is now beginning to show. And as it shows, this has a positive and uplifting effect on others. I have another friend, and I have to say I can't tap into the stuff she publishes, because to me she should know better. All she publishes is her angst, for the most part. And this was a sad day, and this was a bad day. What happened to that understanding that you rise above it? Why would you possibly drench the earth in the darkness that's happening to you? It doesn't help anybody. It truly does not, unless people get their jollies thinking, oh, God, she's really in bad shape. That means I'm a little better than her. No, you share the upside. If you've had a little downside, make light of it. Nobody's been born on this plane without some heavy-duty stuff. So what? That's what you came to deal with. Deal with it and carry on. But for people to stay locked in the grief of something that's happened years and years ago, oh my goodness. This dear soul, all right, sorry, her mother passed a few years ago. Well, that's the way it is. You know, life is like that. But we've gotten so programmed and conditioned to deny death. And death is a portal. You took a body to finally reach that gateway. And that gateway is freedom. How dare we be so selfish to hold a person down here against their will? But it just speaks of how immature we are in our thinking and in our spiritual development. And that has nothing to do with religion. Your spiritual self, your higher self, is not connected to any, capital A-N-Y. It's connected to no religion. Religions across the board are divisive and separate. And that would give me a right to say, well, my God's better than your God, therefore I can kill you. And I can't step foot in your church or temple because, ooh, there's the devil. Come on. Would you all grow up? Really? We have to grow up. Put your religions down. Across the board, drop them. And wouldn't that be an interesting thing for religions, which are such a dang big business? They're just thriving on your contributions. If you would contribute to yourself, you wouldn't have to work so hard. What a concept. You could tithe to the goodness of somebody in a restaurant who took especially good care of you. You could tithe to the person who gave you a ray of light and hope. I mean, come on. Think. As a matter of fact, no, that's dangerous too. Thinking has become very tilted and stilted and narrow. So forget your thinking. Go back to being. You got it when you're just being. Be that expressive, wide open, loving spirit. Love changes everything. Yeah, I wish you could all call in because that'd be nice. But since I'm still remote, you actually can't. I'm so sorry about that. But I do want to pull up something else for you. Many of you have stepped or are actually about to step into what we call the frequency of black. And the frequency of black is the unknown. And when you step into the unknown, it's simply a time to be empty. It's a time to listen and receive rather than put energy out there. You know, it's interesting. For the next couple of days, I'm going to revel in the frequency of black and being in the unknown. I don't know what my next step is here in South Florida. I do know this. I'm here to serve, and I will serve to the best of my ability. But until I'm pointed in a direction of proper service for my skill set and my frequency, I'll be in the frequency of black. I will remain empty, and I will listen. I must have been in the frequency of black when I full-on heard 2 months ago, get in the car as quickly as you can and drive to New Jersey. And now I know most people can't operate their life that way. Well, actually, they could if you put down your fear. I'm pretty fearless in that direction. I had no idea what awaited me up there. I used to teach and breathe and live feng shui up there. That was what I did. I had feng shui boutiques. And there's people who still must stand on that, and I appreciate that. But, that's not my frequency anymore. Frequency's changed. I'm interested now in a more holistic, individualistic approach to simply getting you well. And yes, once in a while it's lovely to have an outer expression of it, but your wellness comes from within you. So don't be afraid of becoming empty. Many people are, because it means you have to withdraw inwardly. And that sense of withdrawing terrifies people. Once again, there was someone that I encountered up there. One job stopped. Well, their heart's palpitating already because they need the next job like the next day. No, you don't. You positively don't. You can't gain your footing that way. Yeah, but I've got bills to pay. Bills are always going to be paid if you trust. Here you go. Bills are going to be paid when you open up my book, Prosperity Portal. Every page reminds you of your innate prosperity. And if you don't have that book yet, please go on my website and order it. It's a very powerful tool. It's a wonderful tool. It's also available, let me tell you, on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I always forget to tell what I'm really doing. Because this is the last show, please remember, I am here to serve. So when you need a consultation, go to my website, make an appointment, call me directly. Consultations don't need to be a full hour if that's too expensive for you. We can scale it to 15 minutes or a half an hour. But you're worth an investment for your peace of mind and for purpose and direction. So website, higherconsciousness.com. And I know pretty soon, I think we still have a few more minutes. I really want to take some time here and thank all of you. I thank you for really trying in your life to become who you are. I see that about you. I thank you for certainly tuning in. And I thank you for listening as you tune in. Sometimes we tune in and we're really tuned out, but many of you actually listened. I know you listened because you might send me a text or an email, something just a little bit encouraging for me. Good show, Elaine. Thanks, Elaine. We forget to give that to one another. So I thank all of you for the support, the encouragement, the dedication, and the time. Time is precious. And my real prayer and hope is that some word, some thought opened you, expanded you, gave you a sense of hope versus hopelessness. It allowed you some which way to step out a little more fully and do your part in helping this beautiful Mother Earth. Whether it be you were a little more generous of heart and spirit, whether you were a little more present, whether you took the dang Fitbit off, whether you put your cell phone down, whether you finally learned the microwave is not your friend, so please don't use it other than a lovely bread box. Fluoride toothpaste is not your friend. It's surprising how many people still didn't get that memo. So I'm even surprised that I'm directed to give that memo again. Full-on fluoride, it like drapes a sticky veil over the third eye, which is exactly what the dark force wants. Why should you have any power to see things more clearly? Would be their take on it. It's not my take. I want you to see things in living